All right, Shalom. Of course, I'm going to start off with giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And it's just going to be a little flow through the spirit, right? A little spiritual flow, as I call it, man. Just a couple topics I wanted to speak on, such as, man, hey, look, these people out here, in America, right, Babylon, these people are through out here, man. Like say for example, I was just walking the other day, over in downtown Easton, man, and some you could see these simps out here, right? These people are, you know, these people don't know what the hell they're doing, man. You got people walking around, all on drugs and shit. You got people out here, you know, um, looking like they're a walking zombie, right? Looking like they're half dead. It's truly sad. It truly is sad. To see some of the circumstances that some of these people are in, man. But hey, at the end of the day, this is how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be in this position right now. Why? Because we're in the time now of judgment taking place, right? We're in a time when judgment's beginning to take place on the earth, man. Specifically, of course, speaking of America, right, the main headquarters of, wickedness on the earth, but of course, all over the world as well. Because say for an example, there was a comment someone put up on a video a couple days back, and they were saying something like, well, yeah, it's not just America that's gonna, receive judgment. Other places are wicked. Other countries are wicked, are gonna be judged too. And you're right. It's not only America that God's gonna judge for her sins. It's not only America, no. Now, this place is the main headquarters that's gonna receive a judgment for her sins, yes. But of course, God's gonna judge all nations. That's why if you read, what is that, Revelation, I believe it's chapter 11 and verse 15, it says, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Christ, and he'll reign over them forever. Nearly paraphrasing it. So it's saying that Christ, when he returns, he's going to have dominion over all these countries. All dominions and all powers on earth are going to be brought under the power of Christ. So you're not going to have nations in that day, man, going around, allowing these, as I call them, rainbows, because I gotta, watch the YouTube with what words I use. But these rainbows out here in this society, that's not going to be allowed when Christ is ruling. No nation's going to accept that when Christ is ruling this earth, man. You got these dumbasses out here. I always gotta mention these characters because it's so retarded and ridiculous. You have idiots out here, right? A fool preterist going around teaching that, oh, well, this is the kingdom of heaven, right? Just get used to it, right? Just get used to what we're seeing, because this is the kingdom of heaven right now, right? This is the kingdom of heaven. This is Christ's empire. All nations are obedient to him right now. I mean, it's completely ridiculous, but this is what you're dealing with. These are the characters out here, man. Now, they believe that, that Christ already returned, and this is basically like, this is what happened, right? This is the empire that Christ established. Completely ridiculous. Hey, just like the one brother Bible defender said, he was joking around saying, it's like, shit, man, hey, if this is the kingdom of heaven, I want out of this place. It's like, yeah, man, if this is the kingdom of heaven, it's like, shit, I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. What type of dumbass could go around and believe that this is the kingdom of heaven on earth today? You gotta be a dumbass to believe something like that. You don't see the shit that's going around out here, man. You have, broken households. You have single mothers. You have, people walking around like, the living dead. Right? Got people out here like shit, man. I don't want to get too graphic, man, but a few weeks ago, I saw some of these videos that people putting up online, from like New York, and Philadelphia, about some of these homeless people out there, man. And there was this one dude who was, there was this one individual that I don't know what the hell this guy was on. Maybe, damn, bath salts or Flocka, right? The zombie drug, or, some shit like that. And this dude, like, literally, I'm not even joking around. This dude was cutting his own hair, but apparently he didn't realize he cut himself down to the bone. So you literally see this guy's skull, Like I'm not even joking around. It's like, oh shit, this guy is totally out of it. Don't know what the hell is going on. And then this other one, which again I won't get too graphic, but you know, this other dude, right, this homeless guy, he didn't have the money to get medical, you know, um, assistance for his injury. Something happened to the guy's leg. So the dude was wearing these shoes with, a affection that he had on and wouldn't get it looked at for, weeks on end. So here it is when he's finally, taken to the emergency room to take the dude's, shoe off. And it turns out parts of his foot had been eaten down to the bone by parasites that got into the guy's shoes. It's like Christ, and this is the shit that's going on out here, man. But I mean, those are extreme examples, but I mean, that's only the ones that I know about. Right? I'm sure there's hundreds of other stories similar to this that are taking place right now across, the crunchy, as Lorcan Rose would say, man. But those are a couple extreme examples. But it's like shit, man. It shows you these people out here are desperate. These people out here, especially in Babylon the Great, the United States, these people are on their last leg. These people are finished out here, man. And very soon, people are going to rise up against the government, and that's in the prophecies. What is that? Second Ezra is the 15th chapter. Right, Second Ezra 15, it says, men will invade one another's houses for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. But they won't be stealing everybody's, precious goods, but rather they're going to be stealing people's, like food and shit like that. Right? They're not going to be trying to steal people's, smartphones, computers, vehicles, shit like that. No, they're going to be going after the food. That's the time we're coming to very soon, man. Right? Is where all hell is going to break loose out here. What they call, SHTF. And that's going to happen in America very soon, man. And not only America, but around the world. You've had this happen in other countries such as, oh shit, there was this one book I was reading. I believe it's called Surviving the Economic Collapse or something like that. A very good book. I might leave a link to it in the comment section if you want to check it out. But it was based on the real life story of what happened over in Argentina back in what was it, 2000, 2001, where the country went through a economic collapse over there. So this guy was sharing his personal experience of living through this collapse of the country. And he actually has a YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to it down below. Go check him out. Very good information he gives. I definitely recommend listening to it because that guy actually lived through a collapse of a country, right? An economic collapse, and he lived to explain what happened in the situation. So it's good to learn some of that information. Why it's relatively calm. It's not like people out here killing each other over cans of beans yet and shit. It's gonna get to that point soon, but not today. So it's good to learn, some skills so that you have it. It's just called being smart. That's why the scriptures speak about a wise man will foresee the evil and he will hide himself. As far as these preppers, right, on YouTube, they have a term that they go by. They call it being a gray man, right? They call it being a gray man. And what that means is, say for an example, if you have 6 months, a year's worth of food in your home, you're not going to be going around, broadcasting this to everybody And when you're out in public, you want to, fit in with everybody. Don't be wearing, all this tactical gear and shit like that. Making yourself, stick out like a sore thumb. No, you want to stick with the crowd. You want to blend in with the crowd. Right? That's what's called being a gray man. So, man, it's it's some serious times we're in right now, man. And the fact that certain people can't see that is just beyond me. It's beyond my comprehension on how you got idiots out here that will still tell you that, things are fine out here. All, these guys been on the internet, speaking for years about, the end of the world and, second coming of Christ. So yeah, it's like, hey, you guys are still here. You've been here, like what, 10 years ago? You guys are still here. And see, nothing happened. It's like, shit, nothing happened. It's like, if we would go back to, if we teleported back to 2017 or 2018, and I told you that, in a couple years to come in the future, you'll have the entire world shut down due to a, well, I can't use the word, but due to a infection, we'll say, you get what I'm saying, that was spread like wildfire across the entire world. Then you'll have the largest land battle take place in Europe since the Second World War. And then, the entire world, all these countries would be in an even worse financial situation than they were in, say, 10 years ago. Shit, it was bad back then, man. Like, shit, when I was growing up, man, I didn't have nothing. I was poor, right? I lived in, Trailer Park. I didn't have nothing when I was growing up. But shit, I can tell you, man, going back, say, what, 10 years, back to even, say, 2012, right, when I was 10, um, things were hard back then, too, right? Definitely, we were poor, never had nothing. I remember there were times, I've said this before, man, I remember there were times when, my mom had to call somebody else to cry for $10 to feed us because we didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So shit, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. Never had nothing. Never grew up in poverty. But I fought through it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, enough about me. But the reason I bring this up to say is, even back then, man, in those bad times, I wish I could go back to those times any day above what it is now, man. Like shit, this is next level. What it is now, man. Idiots out here saying there's nothing going on. It's like, well, shit, maybe for you because maybe you were, more fortunate enough to be put into a better financial situation than the vast majority of the population is in. That would be like, say, for an example, a millionaire saying, oh, well, everything's fine. The economy's fine. People are not hurting. It's like, well, shit, that's easy for you to say because you got $1 million in your bank account. What about those of us out here who have $10 to last a week? Things are doing fine. What the hell are you talking about? So it just pisses you off when some people say retarded statements. It really pisses you off. No, but this is what you're dealing with. People just don't know what the hell they're talking about, and it's ridiculous. But it is what it is. Which I won't make this video too long. I just wanted to go on a rant on a couple different topics. But anyway, I'm gonna say shalom.